do? All right. Once again, it's another episode. This is African Tribalist Confederation. I'm Chinju Banga. I'm here with my man Hendowa Songa. And today we got a new guest. I'm here with my man. Let me know if I mess this up. Dekanti Zolu.
Hello,
All
thanks for
right.
having me.
All right. Well, man, go ahead. Let us know, man. Give us your backstory. Where you from?
Um, so my name is Dekunti. I'm from Minnesota. I'm 17 actually. So, but my ancestry, I'm Liberian, Gola, and Bassa. Yeah, and I met Hindowa through Facebook on wasn't the Mende chat?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
Okay. Well, this is the African Tribalist Confederation. So let's dig more deeper into your tribal heritage. You said you're what again? I heard you give about two,
Gola,
three different things. Gola,
Gola, and Bassa. My dad is Gola, so I'll be like Gola because you take your dad's tribe. Then my mom is Bassa, all from Liberia.
all from Liberia. Okay, I think I actually heard of Basa.
Hmm.
Okay, are you now by you being raised here? Are you still kind of hip to like the history of your people? Did your parents make sure they instilled that into you?
On my dad's side, yes, and on my mom's side, not really. Cause like my mom's tribe, the Bassa people, they kind of like got influenced by the Western world more. So I'm not able to like get much of their history, like the real traditional history. Like the Gola people, they recently got like colonized and got mixed up. So
Okay, so they still got some of their traditions. It's not really uh whited out. What some people would call.
They're actually very close to the Mende.
mhm.
Very, very close to the Mende.
Who was
Like
that?
the Gola.
They're
The
Gola
cousins.
very
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. When the Mende hear the Gullah from South Carolina, they're thinking of Gola. You know what I'm saying? So they automatically like, oh, you Gullah. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why the Mende are so welcoming to those from South Carolina because they hear Gola in that. You know what I mean?
Now, is that I wonder? Did the etymology? Did the Gola Gullah Geechee people? Where did the etymology come from? Like, why did they choose that
It
word?
comes from like here's our origin story and how we got to Liberia. So, because originally we were in Sierra Leone with the Mende and Kisi people, they're our old neighbors, and there was some war between the Pa. There's a specific Mende they call Pa Mende, and the war happened, and we all got pushed to Liberia. So, and during that war, they were selling slaves. All throughout that, they were selling slaves, and the British were involved, etc. So, that's where I feel the name Gola came from during that whole mixture, Gola and Kisi with Gola and Gichi, or Gala Gichi.
Okay, okay. Now I do know there's a river. I done drove past it before truck driving in Georgia, and I don't know if it goes through Florida, but I do know there's a river called the O Gullah Geechee. Starts with a O Gullah Geechee River. So I don't know if it got anything to do with that. But yeah, man, see that's pretty dope. Now, by you being your parents being from Africa, see a lot of us, a lot of diasporans, we've been here for so many years. We don't really have any family that's from Africa. So, do people still look at you as a Black American, or they look at you as an African?
People as in like my friends or like grown folk or teachers or
People in general, like there's people that know you and know your backstory and know that your parents are from Africa. Do they
oh
look at
okay.
you, do they look at you more so as an African, or do they look at you as a black, as a Black American?
I would say a mixture of both because like Liberia was obviously founded by Black American free slaves. And when I tell them I'm Liberian, they're like, oh, you guys eat the same thing. We eat the same collard greens, cornbread, mac and cheese, all that. So they kind of treat me the same when it comes to that. But then, like, let's say if it's coming to like socially and like manners and stuff, like the way my parents are versus theirs is very different. Like when they'll come over, they're more respectful. They're not as open or vocal in front of my parents, and it'll be to like their house because my parents are like older. So
Okay. Okay. Man, that's pretty dope. I wanna ask you something. Something we was talking about earlier this morning. I noticed if like here in America, if you find a proud black person that's really proud and they're into their heritage and their culture, a lot of people like within when they're out in public, then some of their own people, other black people might do it to them too. They like to ask them, "Have you been to Africa?" And it's kind of like, them trying to discredit them or trying to discourage them from being so proud. So, do people have you ever experienced that? Like, does that make you less African? Like, if you've never been to Africa, and have you been to Africa?
they do the same thing. Even like on my own Liberian people, they'll be like, "Oh, why are you calling it back home? You've never been to Liberia, blah blah blah." And it's like that shouldn't be a reason. Even like for example, the Hispanic kids here, they all call their countries home. The Asians here call their countries home. America's not home for us. Why should I force myself to call this place home when I know my origins are from there? Like I don't know why they like to lie to themselves, especially like the Liberian youth here. Because I'm in Minnesota and there's a lot of Liberian immigrants here, and because of our names and the American Liberian mixture, a lot of us blend in like with the last names. A lot of people will be
Mm-hmm.
Albert Johnson, James Johnson,
Oh,
etc.
okay.
So,
With those slave last names.
Yeah,
mhm.
because even in Salon, you'll have Smiths and
Even my
George
real
and
last name is Hubbard. I don't like to use it though. My real last name is Hubbard.
yeah,
I don't like.
yeah.
Is it your real last name or is it your
I
slave
Uh,
mean,
name?
remember,
my
it's
government.
colonialism. Like, so they were colonialized by the same people we were enslaved by. You
Hmm.
gotta
Yeah.
understand that, man. So, like, we have a unique history with our people back home and our people. And you know what I mean? When you're talking about Ceylon and Liberia, it's basically the same country. It's all Guinea. You know what I'm saying? We
Hmm.
have a unique history with that whole the people that is from that little area, man. It was some shit going on in that area. You know what I'm saying? It was a
So
whole
much.
kingdom. You know what I mean? And the white man came, seeing how we were operating. He was there for 200 years. You know what I'm saying? Just peeping out what we were doing. You know what I mean? Before this whole thing actually kicked off the way that he wanted it to. We were trading for 100, 150 something years, man. You know, before it started to really get into the transatlantic slave trade. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
Facts.
I like how you run down the history for our listeners, man. Um, Hindawar, man, you got any questions for our mans today?
Well, I mean, you covered pretty much a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's like our brother, you know, being from here, you know what I'm saying? Our people, we have such a disconnection with Africa. You know what I mean? We have such a, you know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have the images to make us feel proud of Africa. You know what I'm saying? So there are those who of us here will make fun of those who come from Africa, and you know there are brothers and sisters who come here, and of course they would be put off. Here are people who look like us. We could see the resemblances. We could see mothers and fathers and uncles, and you know what I'm saying, among these people, but yet still they're not claiming me. You know what I mean? We come from a place where everybody is recognizing everybody, and you know, because when I moved to New York, coming from South Carolina, I had a problem with people not recognizing me. We spoke to everybody. So you say,
Hmm.
hey, you know, what's up? Nigga walk by you like he don't even see you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Good
So,
attitude.
but you know what I mean? And this, it kind of like took me aback. I wasn't used to that. So I could imagine our brothers and sisters coming and, you know what I mean? But see, on the other hand, our brothers and sisters who are born here, you know what I mean? They're just as African American as us. You know what I'm saying? They grow up listening to the same music. They go into and mothers and fathers may try to keep them away from, you know what I'm saying, that whole
Yeah.
wave, because knowing what the African American culture, we're steered so many ways, and you know what I mean? It's so easy to take our culture and turn it into something negative. So they're like, yo, you stay away from that. How is it that, you know what I mean,
What do you mean by
growing
we're
up,
steered?
it's easy to steer the African American culture wherever they want it to go. You see, when the white man says you should be doing it this way, we do it the other way. You know what I mean? So our culture has become something to where it's a reaction towards what white people let us do and what they won't let us do. You see what I'm saying? And we react to it. So we wear our hat backwards. So we, you know what I'm saying? We spray graffiti on the wall. We do things to rebel against the systems that are put up. This is where the hip hop music is. This is what, you know what I mean? All of the jazz and the rock and roll, all these are expressions of what was going on in our time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, with all of that being said, with all of the negativity and how easy it is for because here it is, you have African Americans who have been so conditioned, you know what I'm saying, to where you're having another race come, build homes, build their communities up, and off to the races, and we're still on the bottom, looking for reparations, looking for, you know what I mean, justice, looking, you see what I'm saying? So what my question is, how is it you dealing with, you know what I'm saying, like both worlds? It's like you growing up in this culture, you just as part of the culture as we are. You going to school, you go, you know what I mean? So you're just as kind of conditioned, but then you still have like a healthy background, you know. How is it dealing with that type of dynamic? You know what I mean?
Like I said before, I haven't like honestly. I feel like I'm closer to my African American side more than my even African people. Because even with other African people, they feel like, because if you're not Nigerian or Ghanaian, they be like, oh, what are you? And they feel like Liberians are the ghetto Africans.
Right.
You see our
Right. They
flag,
look down on
it's
us.
like America. They're like, oh,
Right.
ew. Or we don't, Liberians, we don't speak our languages. We always speak our broken English. Our broken English is different. And so they'll always be like, oh, you Liberians, y'all can't talk good, la, 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 yee, yee. So I always fit in with the African American kids. So even like the ideal African, like, I don't know, I just never got that. They're always too stuck up and righteous. And their parents was, I don't know.
I mean, it's really no such thing, man. It's a way to separate us. You know what I'm saying?